Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it. DCeased, War of the Undead Gods is arriving from DC Comics in August. This is going to be an 8-issue series, and it is being billed as the final DCeased book. Of course, written by Tom Taylor and Trevor Hairzine on the artwork. This is going to continue that DCeased story where the anti-life equation is now jumping from world to world. So we've already seen it kind of decimate the DC universe in this iteration of the DC universe. We've seen new heroes rise, we've seen old heroes fall, and now we're going to get the epic conclusion of DCeased with War of the Undead Gods. That starts in August. Also in August, we start a series of Batman one-shots called Batman One Bad Day. And each one is going to be a 64-page one-shot that focuses in on one particular Batman villain. And we are starting with Riddler in August, written by Tom King with artwork by Mitch Gerrits. Really like those two together. They've done really great work before on books like Sheriff of Babylon, Mr. Miracle, and for the most part, Strange Adventures, but we'll check that one out. Later on in January of 2023, we have a Bane one-shot by Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter. They work really well together, and Bane is one of my personal favorite Batman villains, so that's super cool. Two-Face arrives in September by Mariko Tamaki and Javier Fernandez. Really great team right there, so I want to check that out. Penguin in October by John Ridley and Giuseppe Camuncoli. Then we got Mr. Freeze in November by Jerry Duggan and Matteo Scalera. I'm a huge fan of Matteo Scalera's work, so I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table for Mr. Freeze. Clayface by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Hermonico. That's going to be in February of 2023. And then in March of 2023, we've got Ra's al Ghul by Tom Taylor and Ivan Reis. So, like I said, a series of one-shots focusing in on Batman villains. That's what this is. Then we got Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen's boss, Perry White. This is a one-shot comic. It says in June, but everything else was for August, so that's a little weird. But it's Matt Fraction, it's Steve Lieber, it's the exact same creative team of Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. I adore that Jimmy Olsen series that Fraction and Lieber and Fairbairn worked on. So this is kind of like a little bit of a coda to that. It's going to be reprinting classic Perry White stories, but it's got a new one in there as well. And I just love that title. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen's boss, Perry White. That's super cool. Then we got Tales of the Human Target, a one-shot in August from Tom King, Kevin Maguire, Mikhail Hanin, Raphael Albuquerque, and Greg Smallwood. This is going to serve as a little bit of a prelude or a prequel to the current Human Target series. So there you go. From Marvel in August, we got the launch of Alien #1. Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, Julius Otah on the artwork there. This is just basically going to be a continuation of what Philip Kennedy Johnson has already been doing, but they're just using a new #1 to boost sales or something like that. So if you're reading Alien and you're digging it, don't worry, it's not going anywhere. It's just getting renumbered. So there you go. Damage Control starts in August, a new 5-issue series from Adam F. Goldberg with artwork by William Robson. Damage Control's never really been quite my bag, but sure, we'll see what happens. Then we got 20th Century Men in August, 6-issue series from Image Comics. This is written by Dennis Camp, one of my favorite up-and-coming writers. He is finally having a huge year that I think he is well deserving of. Agent of World, Bloodshot, and now we got 20th Century Men. This has got amazing artwork by S. Morian. This is going to be about the end of the 20th century, and it's kind of playing with superhero mythology, history, politics. It's kind of meshing them all together. Trust me, this book looks amazing. You want to put this on your pull list right the F now. Trust me on that. The Last Shadowhawk is a one-shot from Image Comics in August, written by Philip Tan and Daniel Henriquez, with artwork by Federico Blee. This is going to be a one-shot set in the not-too-distant future about the final Shadowhawk. Who is the mysterious new Shadowhawk? Well, we shall find out in this one-shot, so that's pretty cool. Love Everlasting is also from Image in August, billed as an ongoing series, written by Tom King with artwork by Elsa Charity. This actually sounds really cool. Now, I think that this has been published on Substack already, and I think it may be free to read on Substack already, but I'm not 100% on that, but it is going to be available in print in August. It's a cool story. It's playing with romance comics. So it's this woman who wakes up in a new world, and she goes through your typical cliches of romance comics or something, and when she finally falls in love, she gets shifted off to another universe and has to start all over again. Like, really interesting concept there, so we're excited to check that out. Dead Lucky starts in August from Image by Melissa Flores and French Carlo Magno. This is going to be part of they're calling it the Massiverse or whatever, but the whole Radiant, Black, Supermassive, all that stuff, it's a part of that. I'm not really reading or keeping up with that, but I know a lot of people, are big fans of that, so definitely want to check that out if you are. Deadliest Bouquet is a 5-issue series from Image starting in August. All of these are pretty much August. Do I have to keep saying that? Erica Schultz and Carola Borelli on the artwork there. This is about a woman who was like a Nazi hunter back in World War II. She has grown up and she has been murdered in retaliation for this or something, and it's up to her 3 daughters to get vengeance or to solve the mystery of the murder, something like that. Then we got Golden Rage, 5 issues from Image in August. Chrissy Williams and Lauren Knight. This sounds really cool. It's billed as being Battle Royale meets the Golden Girls. But basically, after women get to a certain age, they get just taken to an island to live out the rest of their days. And then you have the comparison to Battle Royale. So imagine the Golden Girls on an island. Battle Royale, you get where we're going there. Shirtless Bear Fighter 2, that's right, the sequel to the smash hit Shirtless Bear Fighter, 7 issues, starts in August. Jody LaHoop and Nick Vendrell. I never finished the first volume. I didn't quite get into it as much as some of the other people that I know at the shop, but I know a lot of people really like that series, so it's exciting to see that come back. Maybe I'll get the trade paperback and read it and get back into it so I can get ready for this new one. Wind, Thrown in the Sky from Boom Studios in August, 5-issue series. James Tynion IV and Michael Dialynas. I really liked Wind. Wind was like this kind of like light fantasy kind of story, but it was also about like identity and doing what's right and things like that. And I thought it was actually a really well done like young adult fantasy book, and I don't typically dig in on much fantasy, but it is returning in August, so I'm excited for that. Dynamite in August launches 007 #1, a new James Bond book just called 007, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with artwork by Marco Finnegan. Philip Kennedy Johnson doing a James Bond book? That's actually a perfect writer for that book. Very excited for that. Lady Hell debuts in August as well from Dynamite by Eric Burnham, who's killing it right now on G.I. Joe Real American Hero Saturday Morning Adventures, and artwork by someone whose name I am not even going to attempt to try to say because I'm tired of butchering people's names. But Lady Hell is part of the Purgatory universe. I'm not super familiar with that character, but we'll definitely check this one out. Jinx's Grim Fairy Tales from Archie Comics is a one-shot in August, and this is going to be Archie horror, and it's going to have a bunch of little short stories in there, some by Max Visaggio, James 3, and Joe Corallo. That's right, friend of the show, Joe Corallo, has got a story in here, and trust me, he's not lying when in an interview Joe says that he read all this like old school Archie stuff to get in the vibe to do this one short story. Trust me, Joe is that meticulous, and I'm super pumped for this. So hell yeah, Joe. Frank Miller Presents, we got some announcements about that. Let's get into it. Ronin Book 2, we now know is written by Frank Miller, layouts by Frank Miller, finished art by Philip Tan. So we don't have Frank Miller doing the artwork for Ronin Book 2, but Philip Tan is going to be working on Frank Miller layouts. That's good enough for me. Sin City in Color is going to be a one-shot written by Miller with artwork by Milo Manera. Okay, that's pretty wild. 1858, which is the Sin City prequel western that we've been waiting for years, will in fact be all done by Frank Miller, so I'm excited for that. And Pandora is a concept based on dark versions of familiar fairy tales. Frank Miller has came up with this idea, but it's going to be written by Anthony Baronville and Chris Silvestri. They're writers from Star Trek Discovery, with artwork by Emma Kubert. Vault's going to be releasing a Revealer one-shot to tie into the upcoming movie, which will be available on Shudder June 23rd. Speaking of Revealer, I have watched that trailer. This is a movie that's written by Michael Morisi, friend of the show, writer, co-creator of Barbaric and Wasted Space. I'm a huge fan, and also Tim Seeley is involved too. But I watched the trailer, looks awesome. Revealer is about a woman. She's like a sex worker working at a peep show or something like that. There's this other woman who's like super religious, it seems like, and she's like protesting against this, and they have this like clash, and then the apocalypse happens, and they wind up getting stuck together in this peep show booth trying to survive or something like that. Looks awesome. And then, of course, the Vault comic is going to be a tie-in to that, written by Seeley and Morisi as well. You will not want to miss that. I'm going to try to get Dylan and them to cover it on the horror show. Like I said, that's going to be June 23rd on Shudder. She-Hulk trailer. Let's talk about it. First of all, August 17th, Disney Plus. We already know it. I liked the trailer for the most part. Like other people, I do have concerns for the CG. It doesn't really look that great. Some people have said, well, I'm sure they're still tightening it up. I don't think so. Like, every time we see these trailers and we're like, oh, they're going to tighten up that CG. That doesn't happen. Moon Knight didn't have the best CG, in my opinion. It's going to be weird. She-Hulk, maybe there's the Uncanny Valley thing working there. I don't know. Trailer-wise, though, as far as story goes and concept, seems cool. Seems like that John Byrne She-Hulk that I grew up reading, so I'm excited to check it out. But y'all are right, that CG looks pretty rough. Prey is a new movie from Hulu, August 5th. This is the next Predator movie. We got a little bit of a teaser. All it really shows is a Predator kind of stalking, it seems like a Native American. So maybe we're going back into the past, showing the Predators show up in America when the Native Americans were like running things and doing their thing. So that's actually a cool concept. So we'll see what happens there. And Daredevil has been announced is actually going to continue on Disney Plus. Let's hope that they can keep that hard edge and grit and just let's do it, because Daredevil's freaking awesome. That was an awesome show and it needs to return. We know we want it to return. Disney knows that we want it to return, but can they do it the way that we want them to? We shall see. So that's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP? Well, first of all, check us out at Dylan's Horror Show. Tonight, we're talking about the 1983 slasher movie, Pieces. A movie I'd heard about recently, but never watched. I cannot wait to talk about this movie, y'all. I cannot wait to talk about this movie. Then, of course, Rockin Robbie Live Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then join us Monday night for PCP Movie Night at 8 p.m. Central Time, where we talk about the movie Dead Man. It's Crew's choice. Brooks picked Dead Man. Most of us were like, what the hell's Dead Man? I was like, oh, it's that black and white Johnny Depp Western. I never checked it out. Y'all, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I cannot wait to talk about this. So, really exciting stuff coming up this weekend in PCP land. We hope you join us. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Let us know in the comments below any of your thoughts on any of this news that we covered or anything that we missed. In the comments below, let's keep this conversation going. You know how it goes. You know how we do. Hold on. Thanks for rocking with us. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I was getting way off there. I was like getting crazy, starting to sing. It's like, this isn't Rockin Robbie. I feel great, y'all. I have been under the weather. I feel freaking fantastic. So now I'm back. I feel. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Station. Pop, pop, boom!